So good morning. For those of you who I don't know, my name is Flossie, and I'm very honored to be here today with you all to share a very sacred practice and some sacred time together. This is, for some religious traditions, Lent. And for Lent often means a time of introspection. And tonight at Quest Haven, I am actually giving a talk on a study in greatness, St. Teresa of Lisieux, St. Teresa the Little Flower. And you know, for those of you that weren't raised in that Catholic tradition, you wouldn't even know who she is. But the purpose of it is a study in greatness. And so as I began to prepare for the talk about Teresa the Little Flower, part of me was like, whoa. And the other part of me was, whoa. The whoa part, the first whoa part was, it's a tradition that I grapple with some of the rules and regulations of. But when I got to this person, to this beautiful soul, St. Teresa of Lisieux, the Little Flower, I was humbled by her humbleness while I studied her. But why do you study? Why would you study someone like that? Because life is a journey, and along the way we have guideposts. We have beings, teachings, people, communities, whatever, that help us along. And that's part of the reason that you would study something like that. But the real reason behind it is to recognize that you have inside of you all that it takes to remember your divinity and to go home. And that's the trip, to go home, to remember where you came from and your journey back there. And so these great ones come in and they give us some tidbits, some pieces of information. But ultimately, it is yours and my responsibility for it to become our truth. You can't take somebody else's truth and make it your truth. And a lot, you've even heard in the news, there's been a lot of talk of putting people up on pedestals and then find out they're human. Everybody's human. Hello, we're all human. And the focus should be on you and your connection to the divine. And what does that look like? And yes, let's take a tidbit from this teacher and from this teacher, and let's use this practice for a while it serves us. But ultimately, it's your truth. And how do you know something's your truth? By feeling it. If it honors you, if it feels right, then you know, oh, this is right for me at this point. But if it doesn't, it's like eating, it's like living somewhere, it's like being in a relationship, it's all the same. You feel your way through it, and once you do, you say, this feels right, this honors my journey, or, this doesn't feel right. So that's about living your truth and finding your truth, but using the great ones to help us. And the one lesson that St. Teresa the Little Flower was so good at, she was really good at abandonment and surrender to God. She said, I am your child, thy will be done. And she saw that everything that happened in her life was a result of the divine will, that it would help her evolution. And I wonder how many of us can have that simple surrender and abandonment and say, okay, thy will be done, though don't make it too hard. You know, that sort of thing. That's courage. And the other thing, the great thing about St. Teresa was her humility. She recognized that we are nothing. No thing. We are nothing. This is just an illusion. This is just atoms and molecules pulled together. She recognized that we are nothing. But on the other hand, she recognized that we are children of the divine. So in being children of the divine, we are more than good enough. And we can claim our birthright, which is our divinity. And so I was so inspired by St. Teresa of the Little Flower and in finding my truth as well, and hopefully your truth. So let's take this morning's practice and dedicate it to your great journey. You know, the study in greatness. How about the study in your greatness? And the greatness doesn't mean it's all pretty. It means it's real and your truth. And that's how you propel on the journey. So what do you say? Let's do it, huh? Hi. Let's do it. Let's have a study in greatness this morning with the help of St. Teresa the Little Flower, but really the help of your higher self. And that you can and I can find that place within us where we balance humility and our greatness. We understand that we are children of the divine. But without the divine, we be no thing. So, let's sit up nice and tall and take a few deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. So we begin our study of ourself, which is yoga. Inhale and exhale. And we sit with our spine stacked and connected to the earth. At the base of our spine. And then all the way up from the crown chakra connected to the heavens, to the higher realms. And here we plug in. Bring your hands to your heart center, pressing into this gateway, this doorway that connects heaven and earth. And in this moment, recognize your humility, your nothingness, that without the divine, you would be nothing. You would not even exist. And yet also recognize that you are a child of the divine. And so in that, you inherit all that is available for you and that you are open to. So let's call in the great ones and the angels, particularly today, St. Teresa the Little Flower, who had complete surrender and abandonment and trust in this process of oneness. And what is it on our journey that prohibits us from trusting, from letting go and surrendering to our higher selves, to the divine? Let's do some deep breathing here. Take the arms up, inhale, up. Plug in to heaven and earth, so all the answers are available within us, and exhale down. Touch the earth with the deepest of reverence. Inhale up. And exhale down, clearing our auric field. And inhale up, reaching up and exhaling down. And one more time, reach up. You can touch the heavens, and exhale, you can touch the earth. Let's bring our hands up. And as our fingertips are antennas, round your spine and bring your elbows together. And then inhale, out and up, opening your heart. Exhale, round. And each time, open up, feel as if you're opening your heart and breaking out of a self-created limitation that you've placed on yourself. Opening and closing, breaking out. And one more time, take it down. And open out. This time, lace your fingers behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades, and lift your heart. Let's empower ourselves. We can be humble, but we're also empowered. Because we realize we're here for a reason. We have a life's purpose. And that purpose is to remember to live through our hearts and live in oneness consciousness. That is your greatness. Bring your hands to your right hip and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Releasing some of those burdens that you carry in your shoulders. Opening your heart. Breathing, and then come up and switch sides. Take the left ear to the left shoulder. Leaving yourself open. Do you trust? Do you trust? Are you able to fully surrender? And then lift up. And then take your arms out and up, and then take your opposite hand to opposite knee and melt down. Just melt over. Breathing, feeling. The other thing that St. Teresa taught us is that prayers are not reciting words, it's a feeling. It's a loving experience. Because praying someone else's words are someone else's truths. Find your truth and feel it. What is your heart saying? And don't make yourself right or wrong or good or bad. And then inhale and open out as if you can clear away some of the fog. And then take your hands on your hip, your knees, and just move around. And opposite direction. And then come all the way up. Okay, let's come on all fours now. Stacking our shoulders on top of our wrists and our knees on top of underneath our hips. We're going to do our cat-cow. Tucking under on the cat and lifting on the cow. Using the breath to take you deeper and deeper inside. It's all about you. It's all about your journey. And recognize that there's no pass or fail. There's just life lessons to be learned. And some we learn from others, and some we learn by experience. All right, on the next cat, move it around. One direction and then the other. And then on the next cow, let's just walk our hands out into what I call downward facing puppy. Breathing. And then sway your upper body side to side if that's available to you. Can you find the sacredness in this moment? Can you breathe into the goodness that you are? And yet into the nothingness that you are. It's such a dichotomy. the child of the universe. All right, let's walk ourselves back. Let's come up on our knees and then bring your hands up and take your left hand behind your back and then lift your heart. Breathing, pull the pubic bone up, opening your heart, letting go, surrendering and trusting to something greater than yourself, to your divine parent, and knowing that everything is in divine order. Inhale up and take the other side. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, back. Breathing, pulling that belly up and in and opening. Trust. It takes so much courage to trust. To say, I really abandon my idea of what should happen and how I'm going to find my way home. And then inhale up, and then take your hands down, turn your toes under, and let's press up in our first downward facing dog.